Good day, learners. You are welcome to study session 5. In this session, we are going to learn about reading and writing skills. There are 4 basic language skills, and these are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And they can be divided into 2 broad categories. Listening and reading are categorized as receptive skills because through them, the individual receives information, knowledge, and ideas, while speaking and writing are categorized as expressive skills because they are employed to communicate or to express information, knowledge, or ideas. Writing is the highest of the 4 language skills. Although speech is the primary mode of communication in a language, writing has gained prominence in literate societies. At the end of this session, you should be able to do the following. 1. Define reading. 2. Identify bad habits that slow down reading and know how to avoid them. 3. Describe the different types and rates of reading to achieve specific purposes. 4. Improve your reading and comprehension rate. 5. You should be able to define a sentence and give examples of different types of sentences according to structure. And finally, you should be able to list and explain the types of sentences according to purposes and give examples of each type. Now let us look at reading. Reading is a process by which an individual extracts a sequence of cues from printed texts and relates these one to another so that he understands the precise message of the texts. It is the understanding, interpreting, and making sense of a given text. Reading is the amalgamation of visual and non-visual experiences or behaviors. 2 processes are involved in this amalgamation. 1. The physical process of seeing groups of words on a page. And 2. The mental process of recognizing and comprehending what is seen. Now let us examine some common pitfalls in reading. Some of the bad habits that inhibit reading efficiency are: 1. It is common for poor readers to move their heads from one side to the other when they read. Such a movement distracts the reader and slows down reading speed. 2. The assimilation of thoughts and ideas is also distorted because the reader cannot take in phrases and sentences by pointing to individual words. 3. Vocalization, which is the practice of pronouncing words silently to yourself with lip movement, while subvocalization is sounding the words in your throat while reading. Both habits, that is, vocalization and subvocalization, are caused by concentrating on individual words at a time instead of capturing a group of words at a glance. Regression. This is returning to what has already been read and is caused by poor vocabulary, poor concentration, lack of confidence, and fatigue. Reading rates or types of reading. There are different types of reading which are distinguishable by the speed employed by the reader. These are: 1. Scanning. Scanning is an extremely fast pace of reading employed for the purpose of locating a particular piece of information. Skimming. This is also a fast form of reading a particular text in order to determine its main idea or the general gist of the text. We have what we call light reading or rapid reading. This is a medium fast pace of reading which is employed to read for relaxation or to review a familiar material. And we also have study reading or comprehension reading, and this involves reading a text carefully so that you can understand the material more effectively or in depth. We now want to look at the sentence and the different types of sentences. The sentence is the smallest unit of language which makes a complete sense. It is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. Therefore, if a group of words does not express a complete thought, it is not a sentence but a fragment of a sentence. A simple sentence must contain a subject and a predicate. Now, let's look at types of sentences. There are basically 4 types of sentences in English, namely simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. Each one is determined by the type and number of clauses in it. A simple sentence contains one independent clause and expresses a complete thought. A compound sentence contains 2 independent clauses joined together by a comma or a coordinating conjunction. A complex sentence is made up of one or more dependent clauses combined with an independent clause. The independent clause in a complex sentence can stand alone as a simple sentence, whereas the dependent clause cannot. A compound complex sentence contains 2 or more independent clauses and 1 or more dependent clauses. It is a combination of a compound sentence and a complex sentence. The purpose of sentences. Each sentence one writes serves a purpose. There are 4 kinds of sentences to fit 4 purposes. These are the declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory sentences. A declarative sentence states a fact, opinion, or feeling. It is usually followed by a full stop. An interrogative sentence asks a question. It is usually followed by a question mark. An imperative sentence requests or orders something. It usually ends with a full stop. An exclamatory sentence expresses shock, surprise, or sudden joy. It ends with an exclamatory mark. Thank you for listening.